Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU and welcome back to my Riftborn playthrough / tutorial. There are a lot of things that I need to take care of today, so why don't we just get on with it right away. I already queued up some construction of my systems. As you can see right now, I'm going to colonize all the planets in Alpha because I already have the predictive logistics thing installed, so it only makes sense to colonize as many planets as you can and maximize the bonus you can get from that. Similarly, I queued up predictive logistics in Temos after the spin project is completed. I do want the religious party to be in the government, obviously, so I'm trying to make sure that every system has a reason to vote for the religious party. Although, when it comes to systems like Temos and Telefa, they don't have a lot of population, so it will be pretty difficult to make them vote. But nevertheless, as you can see, right now they don't have any reason to vote for a religious party due to, what you might call it, any improvements being constructed, because they have not constructed any improvements. Religious type improvements, that is. So that's why I'm making this sprint product. Besides, I need more influence. Speaking of influence, let's go into the research tree. Yeah, that is actually related. So, right now I have to choose something. Obviously, as I said last time, I'm going to go for focused plasma. But what am I going to go for next? Well, the next thing I want to research is basic flotilla shield, and for that I will need survival suits. Additionally, there are also other things that are tempting. For instance, fighters and bombers, which is, you know, kind of the big deal, the thing that we all wanted to see, or at least you, I imagine, want to see the most. Problem being, they are in Era 3 that I don't have access to yet. And another problem is that right now I have a lot of surplus science, even more so than this technology costs. So I can't save up the extra surplus I would have. It would be wasted. That's only like, what, 100 something wasted science, but that's still too much. So I should start working on something that I'll grab at some point in the near future anyway. So I have two options that immediately spring to my mind. Aside from anything in the science tree, because I don't think I will go for scientific victory. I mean, I might, in which case I should be going for science stuff already, but so far I haven't been really going that way. I might decide to go it later on, but right now I'm just... Right now I was just drinking tea because I really had to. My apologies. Anywho, right now there isn't anything that I immediately noticed to be of extreme importance to me and my plans. Sure, extra science is great, but right now I'm producing a decent amount anyway, and all of my systems are working very hard on just increasing their production to install those science centers, so yeah. Besides, my systems all around weren't the most scientific systems, to be entirely honest. They're mostly production systems, so kind of tempting me to go for wonder / military victory rather than science victory. Anywho, I'm going to go for xenoanthropology in terms of research. Another thing I was considering was going for extreme atmospherics instead, because that would give me access to advanced system development, which I would not use, mind you, because right now I don't have any good candidates for luxury resources for level 4 or 3 or whatever. But it also unlocks me some other things, like for instance anti-military capture, which I could certainly use. But other than that, there's a lot of things in here that are useful but not immediately important. Whereas xenoanthropology, first of all, it's a religious technology, so it boosts the religious party. Secondly, it gives me access to National Museum, which not only boosts the religious party again, but also gives me more influence, which I'll certainly need, because I want to have some more laws active in the near future. Right now, I mean, why did I not have minimizers enacted again? Oh, because of the... I remember, because of the pilgrim stuff. Well, right now, yeah, we know how that went, so how about we enact it again? Now, I will not actually be able to support it, right? Yeah, I'm losing influence, but I'm losing it at a decent enough pace to actually keep this law going for a little while, and it is a very useful law, as you can imagine, so I'm definitely going to keep it going for some time. And I don't think it's sped up anything. Also, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, I have moved around some of my population and queued up even more sprint projects and so on and so forth, just bringing up to speed on things I did off camera because they were not important to record. Also, my hero has leveled up at some point when I did not notice that he or she or it has. Now, I'm not going to level up this clerical correction skill again because, as you can see, the increase you get from level 1 to level 2 is actually extraordinary minor and going to be completely meaningless if I get my religious party going forever. So we're not gonna go for that. Instead, I'm going to go for, here's the catch. Nothing is particularly great. I mean, sure, this technology is good because it gives us a flat bonus industry and a system, but I don't have that many hot planets in here, by which I mean I have none. And do I want to keep this hero on the system? Yes, because he's about to gain a lot of experience. Now, I could keep him in the system until I make, for instance, the Endless Research Park or Intergalactic Technology Center, which, I mean, that would take too long. But Endless Research Park, surely, I would want to make it, and then I would want to keep this guy on the system to gain ridiculous amounts of experience by when I complete this wonder. If I manage to complete it, an AI might beat me, but for some reason AIs rarely tend to make those wonders. Anywho, so in the future I might relocate into a solar system where there are more anomalies, in which case arcane knowledge will actually be more useful. Besides, it's still a plus 20 science bonus to your system, so it's either that or I just give myself a flat out bonus to industry, but it is a small one, admittedly, so I'm going to give myself arcane knowledge instead because it's a really good bonus. Other thing to take into consideration is inundation of dust. I have no idea how to pronounce it, which is good, and it stacks up particularly well with the Tower of Temporal Paradox, I believe it was called. Yeah, Temporal Paradox, this thing. And again, this research, this improvement is one other reason why I also want to go for Xenanthropology, because one, it gives me access to that incredibly useful and powerful and really good improvement. And sure, it's expensive, but it's also so very much worth it to make it as quickly as possible. And another reason is because better ships, and well, most better ships. Still, that's a pretty good reason, I would say. Let me drink some more tea as I check everything. Alright, our Prowler is on the move. Now, unfortunately, the Courageous Revealer is making its way to Theia, so I will not be able to check any curiosities over there. So what I'll do instead is have this guy go to Ovadi and see what's on this side of the galaxy, or rather closer to its center, I suppose. And believe me or not, that's the end of my turn. Yay! Which means I can drink even more tea. Man, I'm seriously addicted. This is ridiculous. But it's also so worth it to be addicted to tea, because it's wonderful. Why would you not want to be addicted? Also, I can get a religious hero. This is actually almost a problem. Not quite a problem, but almost a problem. Because the hero I get from... Go away. I discovered some other empire. We'll deal with that in a moment. Because Anax Jax is also a religious hero. Question is, which one would I want to be my governor? What skills do scavengers have? I remember I always had him have some kind of a skill. What was it? I don't remember. He did have some kind of Senate boost, I believe. I think. A good one, I mean, but I don't remember too well. How about you? What kind of Senate boost would you have? What are you anyway? You are a counselor. I'm not going to be getting too many of those guys in the near future. So Senate, that's a worthless bonus because I probably will be skipping trading companies. So that's not very good. Those bonuses everybody has. And over here, nothing good Senate-wise. So this guy... I mean, wait, no. He would give me more industry per anomalies, which is decent endgame level up, but it's endgame level up. I'm pretty sure that it would be better for me to grab the Varus guy instead as a religious party leader. Because this guy, what would I even use him for? A governor or a fleet leader? I think a governor most likely. I mean, he's a Riftborn, he would be a pretty good governor. But alternatively, what else can I do? I don't want to hire a pacifist hero, because that might boost the pacifists into a point where they might actually overtake some other faction, or rather party. Which I don't want to be the case, even though he is an overseer and a Riftborn, which is a very good potent combo. How about another industrialist hero though? Again, industrialist party already has a leader, so I don't really care or have to worry about his Senate skills, but what other skills does he have? Now I will have to check them all his racial skills, because I rarely play as Lumiris. They're not really my playstyle. I don't actually... I mean, I do like them. Like, overall, the theme and whatnot of Lumiris really compels me, but the gameplay does not, so I pretty much never play them. And I do not remember the hero skills, I do have to admit. generally speaking, yeah, that's that. Extra things in the system. Generally speaking, alright, governors, not really governors, but a bit of governors, and some extra industry, and trade routes. No, none of those heroes are particularly compelling. The pacifist hero is the most compelling, admittedly. Because, yeah, I do want to keep religious hero for later. Can I actually complete this quest before the next election? That's the important part. 60 science. Either on Gemini or the other system. I'm not sure which one will count. 60 science is doable. How long until this thing runs out? Gemini, another 10. So yeah, if I buy this thing out, then I'll complete this quest next 10 and will gain my religious hero. That's good. In which case I could actually go for the pacifist hero because the boost that pacifist party will gain will be offset by the boost that the religious party will gain. So I could go for him instead of this guy. So yeah, I think I'll go for him. Yeah, yeah, he is a Riftborn Overseer. That's a really good combo. It's really hard for you to argue not to grab that. Let's be entirely honest about it. Let's go ahead and get him. Where do I put him though is the question. Let me think about it for a second. I think it's going to be either Temos or Tailifa. Or Faitas, actually. Faitas also is a really good system with a lot of things to be made over here. So, yeah, let's go ahead and add him over here. Speed up the construction process a little bit and also let him gain more level ups from making some higher tier improvements as well. And I think it's a pretty good idea. What kind of thing do we start off with? Well, you know the answer to that question because it's pretty obvious and self-explanatory. Now, what else do I want in this system, or rather on the system? That monsoon planet is going to be annoying me forever because it has some deciduous trees, and it's a planet that I could colonize, but I can't because it's a monsoon planet, so I really don't care about it. Oh well. I think I might actually go for the Cube of the Viceroy. I mean, I will level the system up. I already started leveling up anyway. And my main system is busy with many other things. Alternatively, I could actually make Endless Research Pack and Endless World on this system instead of my main system. And it's going to take more or less the similar amount of time. Then again, this is even less of a scientific place than my home system is, so that would be really stupid actually. Never mind, ignore what I just said. So let's have a quick look-see. I mean, more science is always good, more population is always good, and Cube of the Viceroy, it's going to be delicious, even though we don't really need it. And what about the Gamma thing? It's going to be useful for sure, so why not queue that up as well? And now we have a lot of things queued up for the future, so that will be nice. I already leveled it up, thank you very much. We have met the United Empire, who is reserved. They just met us. Where have they met us? Over here. They passed by my probe, so that's fine. And I'm about to meet the Sylphons as well, who already have smashers ready. I wonder why. What kind of smashers are they? Missile smashers. Alright, that's good to know. I mean, it's really not actually all that important to know, because frankly, by the time I meet and or fight with the Sylphons, they will probably have different kind of ships and weapons, I will assume. Anyway, that's annoying. My scout ship is going to be intercepted. Although, nope, never mind. I was able to explore the Curiosity before that happened, so that's absolutely lovely. The Studious Trees, that's great. And now the Pilgrims will love me even more for exploring this Curiosity for them. That's great. And now, dear Shadow, I think you should get away from them, but you have no more movement anyway. So, I'm going to send a probe this away and that away, just because maybe there's a system over here or something that I might find between the star systems that might be important. And then get away as quickly as you can before you never mind. You're dead. Yeah, it doesn't matter, this guy is dead anyway. I could have used the battle card to give me extra 15 dust, but yeah, I should have done that, but then again, 15 dust, I mean, that's really not a lot. Alright, Centaurus, I should really actually colonize by now. Ow! Oh, for crying out loud, 1 second. Don't you hate it when you're trying to drink some tea and then you smash the cup against your teeth? It's annoying. It's really annoying. Oh well. I guess it's a little bit less embarrassing than when you try to kiss somebody and then your teeth hit. But then again, that is also adorable, kind of. Adorable maybe, so yeah. Besides, it usually hurts less than having your teeth smash against the cup. So yeah, I'd rather be kissing somebody right now than drinking tea. Anywho, I think I wanted to have another colonizer somewhere. So where will I make that? I mean, Telefy is kind of busy, but at the same time it's only kind of busy. So why don't I make a Geist over here? Nice and easy. Actually, this is the expensive one, right? I could just have a cheap one. So a quick look-see. And then retrofit him later down the line. So let's go ahead and make it a cheap Geist. And that doesn't actually change anything. So I might as well make the expensive one. So I have a bit of dust. Not like I really care about this dust, but I kind of do actually, now that I think about it, because I do need dust to bribe people to vote for the religious party, because hey, it's fun. I mean, not necessarily bribing is fun, but it's important. Anywho, let's go ahead and move my population to... Actually, where do I want to keep them? Let's see, where would it be best to keep them? What gives me the most industry? Actually, this desert planet is amazing because of the Cosmite volcano, so let's keep everybody on that planet, thank you very much. And I believe that's everything I need to do this time, so let's go ahead and end it. And suddenly, if the first curiosity went out on Nair, or rather ended, and Epistes start to grow in number, and now I love ecologists even more than they did before. That's a bit of a problem, because, well, I don't like ecologists in the slightest. So that's a problem, and the Horatio will vote for ecologists as well. Why do I keep getting those crap... for whatever. And they're aggressive. Why? Guys, you're so very far away! I don't even see your borders! Why are they... Oh, whatever. I don't really care. Maybe they're close to Altair or something. Also, Altair is about to be engulfed by Terracanna influence, and AIs tend to get this nightmarish SLC thing, which... Again, is my most hated feature of Endless Space 2. I cannot wait for it to be modified. I mean, I know it's not gonna go away, and on paper I like the idea behind cultural flexibility, but I explain my hatred towards this ability, let's call it, in so many videos. I'm not gonna go into that again, because I know I could go on about it for hours, because of how much I hate it. It's really stupid, and I wish before it is changed in some kind of future expansion or patch or whatever, I really wish you could just disable it. That would be great. Anywho, alright, Terran, it still hasn't completed. Alright, that to me tells... I mean, either it's going to be completed next turn, or it's Temos that I need to improve in terms of science, which would be really annoying actually. Like, very much so annoying, but there isn't much I can do about that. I mean, and would be a really big problem, because this means I still don't have a religious hero. But I think it was supposed to be Gemini. I colonized Gemini. Yeah, it should have been Gemini actually, if I remember things correctly. Maybe I don't, in which case it's kind of embarrassing. It should have been Gemini though. Anywho, right now Gemini still has the what's it called? Singularity, that's how it's called, on it, so I'm going to use that to make something else, so maybe machine embodiment, start working on that one. And Temos, we need to spend a lot of dust to get that up on its feet, because I certainly need to. Also, the AI discard and the Meton and Feya, that's good to know and important, so I'll probably colonize Feya at some point in the future. Not right now, I'm really not in a hurry in that regard. And research needs to be killed. Oh, I forgot! Xenanthropology, oopsies. Well, I can rush past on singularities, but that's 4 turns. Which is a lot of turns, and it boosts ecologists, but then again, at that point it will not be important. I really need to have silver suits so I can start working on my fleet, however. And I want to improve fleet management, and then I'll deal with anything else. However, I can already start working on my spirit ships, because these ships already have access to all of the weapons, and actually they don't. They really don't. I need better weapons on them, don't I? I do. Right now the best things I can install are Ultra Dense Slag. So what do I want to install on them is the question. Because no, spirits cannot have any bombers or fighters on them. So that would have to be something else. Right now I'm gaining more Hyperion than Titanium. Am I correct in that assumption? I'm not. I'm actually getting more Titanium, but I will need to spend extra Titanium on the ships themselves. So I probably need to use Hyperion weapons, so Hyperion Magnetics, thank you very much. Let's get them going ASAP, as quickly as possible, and then work on those things. That leaves me with no room for hardened alloys if I want to get fighters and bombers. Alright, I'll get fighters and bombers in the next era. The reason being that the other ships I have access to... Now, you want to see fighters and bombers. So, okay, I'll grab those things. But normally, you wouldn't want to get those as Riftborn this stage of the game. Because Wraiths, they only have room for one squadron, as you can see. Which is really not a lot, and it's not worth it to get an entire technology for just one slot or per ship. And I only have like 1 or 2 of those per fleet. So that would not be really ideal. But normally, I would go for this kind of build order. Hardened alloys, survival suits, and happy magnetics. And you know what? I will start off with that. Because by the time we actually fight against somebody, I'll probably end up grabbing the bombers anyway at that point. Around that point. Which will give me extra damage enhancer. And really, really good plating. But then again, I really want antimatter intensifier. Because it will be so much more useful, I believe. But then again... yeah, because I will have more still antimatter than adamantium. You want me to have it, don't you? So I could just ignore basic flotilla shield, but that's too risky, I need that. I can just grab 4 things instead. Or just ignore zero luck command, but zero luck command is extremely important, so you need that. Anywho, I don't need either of those right now, I need those 2. So let's queue them up and think about the consequences later. And before the election, I need to remember to actually sell something to gain more dust and use the dust on... What do I want to use them on? Oh yeah, on bribing people, that's right. The usual thing you use dust on. Because right now I'm going to have to queue up another singularity because that's rather important. Although I could queue it up later when it's a little bit cheaper. Because I'm not really in a hurry for using the singularities. Then again, yeah, I do want to save up some dust for singularities. But then again, having a singularity on Nair as quickly as possible is important. But I'll queue it up next turn. Meanwhile, Altair can start working on something like public private planet-ships, I suppose. Or colonizing instead. Colonizing is more important than I would imagine. So let's start colonizing the snow planet, for instance. And end the turn. Alrighty then. So what do we have? Alright, somebody got that. That's... Oh, come on! The Cravers! I mean, that's good because I suppose the Cravers can... benefit from it the least, but it's annoying. I mean, it's my own fault. I really wasn't gunning for this wonder anyway. It would take me too long, but at the same time, it is a pretty good wonder to have. So maybe I should have rushed it, but I didn't see it as rushable per se. It would hurt my economy too much, I thought, and I just decided not to go for it, and that's the end of that story. So what I'm going to go for instead is the Eater thingy, because that is way more important for somebody who wants to go for technology style. I don't really, but nevertheless it's a very useful wonder to have. 8 turns is a bit of a bummer, however, admittedly. And I only have 5 Riftborn population over here, which is also a bit of a bummer. Anywho, I'm going to go for magnetic field generators first. And National Museum, and then... Do I have... Oh yeah, that's annoying, I have to zoom out. I have 1 huge planet, so it kind of wants me to go for Gamma thing. And probably Machine Embodiment as well. Let's go ahead, at least have 1 more Machine Embodiment, because it's... I do want to have some better population on this system. And then, only after all of that, I'm going to go for the Galactic Technology thingy. Yep, it's going to take a while. I know, it's fine. And let's... I'm not going to move Epistus out of the system yet. Meanwhile, you, the system, I mean, dear hero, you're going to give me that. Efficiency aficionado, nice and easy, grab that. No questions asked. And, I could terraform the ocean planet. Which is tempting. I don't remember what I can terraform it for, to, but I kinda feel like I want to do this. But I'm not gonna... this is for something for much later down the line. I don't have to worry about that. Luxury prices increase. That's maybe good. Maybe I can sell some luxuries and gain something awesome in return. So let's have a quick look-see. Obviously I don't want to sell the studio's trees, but everything else is pretty high in demand, so that's good. People already started selling things, however. Well, whatever. What can I sell? Don't want to keep trying to stack up on Jadonics. I have very low income on of that, so probably not. Where else can I get Jadonics? Menace and Turkana. Well, at some point I might actually use that for something. And how much can I sell it for if I sell all of it? Pretty decent amount of dust, actually. I will sell all Dark Glitter. I'll certainly never ever use Dark Glitter, so I can sell that without any regrets. And because I am No, I really will need the studious trees. Let's see, how much do I need for all of that stuff? Decent amount, but I think I'll be able to go for primary elections. Yeah, I'll definitely be able to afford it. Not if I queue up another singularity though, and I do want to queue up a singularity. So now I'm going to have to sell more stuff. So what about strategic resources? Is there anything that's very high in demand that I have a lot of? Antimatter is kind of in demand, I suppose, and nobody is buying it, so I could sell all of it for a decent amount. But I want to keep it kind of as well. I'm gaining a lot of Hyperium, but Hyperium is not very expensive. But nobody's buying it, so I think I will sell some of it, actually. I have so much anyway. And that's a really nice amount of dust I would gain from it, so let's go ahead and do that. And you know what, I will sell some of my destructive... No, not all of them, but some of my destructive trees, I think. Alright, maybe I sold too many, but at least I capitalized on the better price of them somewhat, so that's good. Anyway, let's move all of my stuff around. I think everything is more or less ready. The expansion ship probably was ready for a while now, so... Alright, how much... Oh yeah, you already have all the engines installed, so let's just move it to Centauros and colonize. And I'll drink some more tea while we do that. The question is, which planet do I want to colonize? Probably... I mean, they all have no industry production anyway, right? So probably the one that already has antimatter on it. And it's a large planet as well. I know none of them will give me any industry, so yeah, let's go have food baron. Well, that's a pretty empty colonization screen. I mean, it is a barren planet, admittedly. Do I want to speed this up? Well, certainly I do. Only with Hyperium, though, I think. 4 times is good enough. I'm really not in a hurry. And Temos, my dear friend, I cannot speed this up. Because I need to save money for the bribery during the elections. Because, yep, sadly keeping the religious party in the game, that's very important in my opinion. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and end the turn. Nice and easy, no questions asked and no problemos. So, let's see, I have a collection bonus for the Riftborn. Now they give me more in the industry production, which is nice, and that's pretty much all that you care about when it comes to collection bonus for Riftborn, because the next one is the room for travel consumption, or rather speed, or however you want to call it. It's really not that big of a deal. But the extra industry certainly is, so that's very nice and a very useful thing as well. So, anywho, what's that? Empire limit? Oh wow. I guess the cravers are doing quite well for themselves. Assuming those are cravers, so let me just quickly check. And who has the largest score? Horatio do, but Horatio often do. And no, wait, cravers do. So yeah, cravers just killed the Sophons. That's scary. It means that they actually were not stopped in early game. That's terrifying. I will need to find them and kill them as quickly as possible. Anyway, we complete this thing. We got access to wave function control, which I would have gotten at some point anyway, so I guess it's not bad. It could have been worse. It's a research I wanted to get anyway, so actually I was really lucky in that regard. So anyway, what do I want to read? Andromeda or Aini? Where are they? Aini and Andromeda. Aini, Andromeda. Aini is over there. Andromeda is... What, the balls is Andromeda? I don't see Andromeda, so that would be a difficult thing to achieve. So, set up an outpost on Aini, that gives me Transvine, which I will never use, but I could sell it. Or reach Andromeda in 10 turns where I don't even know where it is. I don't want to boost the militarist party, so I'll go for that. And, yeah, Aini is not... I mean, maybe it's a place where I want to set up an outpost, anyway. Toxic, Ice, Arctic, and the Gas Giant Building. Kind of a weird mix, to be entirely honest with you, but maybe I'll do it at some point. If I want, then I'm not gonna cry anyway. It's 60 Transvine. Anyway, elections approaching, so I could reduce the cheat cost during the elections, but that would trigger a political crisis. It's a 40% chance. But then again, I mean, I can already afford, you know, cheating during the election, so it's not really all that important. I don't need to hire the spies. I can arrest them, gain extra influence, which is always important and useful, for 20 turns, which is also pretty substantial. And I will cheat anyway, even without the spies. So let's go ahead and do just that. I think that's a pretty good idea. Hero level up, yes, we know. And also it turns out with the virus hero, who I still don't have access to, yep, I need to deal with the Thermo system rather than the Gemini system, which is most annoying, I have to say. But that's also good to know. I don't think it's going to take me too long to get the system to this amount of decent amount of scientific production, but it will take me some time, I suppose. Let's keep moving everything I needed to and or wanted to. The Prowler is still on its way. This guy, is there anything you can reveal? Well, just see my assistants, I suppose. For the time being, don't want to be nasty towards decoration, no, because I want to save influence. I will not be a nasty person. There's no need to praise you. Everything is queued up. Let's end it then. Well, never mind. Nothing is queued up, and I have an auto singularity. So where do I want to set it up? I kind of want to activate the Thermos to speed up the process of it gaining extra influence. I'm in science to get my new hero. But Nair is working on Ether, and that's the most important thing of all. So let's go ahead and do just that. We're just going to speed this process up quite nicely. And alrighty then, everything seems to be progressing at a good enough pace. Let's move you over to the ocean planet because it's already going to be overpopulated anyway, so might as well do that. And Telepha and Gemini both need orders. So Telepha, what do I do with you? Well, you're ecstatic anyway, so might as well have you overpopulate the best planet you have. And start working on... That is the question, isn't it? What do I start working on? I cannot speak. Cerebral reality is always good, so go ahead and grab that. Follow it up with public-private partnerships, and then I suppose some bonus for each population unit because it's extra industry, and we love us some extra industry. So let's go ahead and do that. Gemini, meanwhile, is going to go for even more population because, I mean, it's a good thing to have. And I don't really have anything I really care all that much about, although extra excavation would be very useful, but more population is even more useful, I think. Although this thing is the most useful. So let's go like so. Interplanetary transport network into -0 into machine embodiment. Nice and easy. And let's go ahead and end the turn. Alright, now our next drink is unlocked. Took him long enough, but it's good because he will benefit the reduced party. I think he should at the very least. Anyway, you can read that out by pausing the video, and again, you can read this out by pausing the video. And if you have difficulties reading this text like I do, you'll need to pause the video for quite some time, I imagine. Anyway, there's law over there, right for you. And I only have two options, consolidate or investigate. Normally, I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me right, you could get 3 options. But when it comes to this, part, or maybe it's later on, I don't remember. Anywho, let's see. So investigate. I mean, there's a problem with that. We're equals. That's cute, but I'm not gonna really use that all that much, and I don't have a trade company HQ. Consolidate, on the other hand, is something that I'm more likely to get, and decreased cost on ships. That's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is blah 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 blah. As you can see, I'm going to have a really good ship. Alright then, let's go ahead and grab that. Meanwhile, mission accomplished with processing for code plants, which I didn't even realize I was going for, but I guess I was. And now I need to increase the system level of Nair. That's going to be difficult to do, and the reward is really pathetic. But then again, I told you before, Riftborn Blues is hardly the best kind of mission you can get, or quest line, but it is a quest line nevertheless that you might as well complete when you get the opportunity. Anyway, our virus here looks adorable. Yep, and he spit all over the camera lens, but that's fine, I suppose. Let's go ahead and start leveling him up. So I'm going to use him as an admiral because he is a seeker. So obviously I'm going to give him the movement options that here I can, and follow it up by giving him the Cosmic Castaway because it's an amazing skill to have. Nice and easy. And followed up with, well, I'm not going to upgrade his ship because I might need the extra dust, probably won't. And yeah, let's actually hold on a second. I definitely won't, because either way I won't be able to go for strong arm lobbying, and I probably shouldn't do that either, so I can freely spend about 200 dust. Also, I'm curious, do you care already about the reduced hero? Let's see. Yep, you do. That's amazing. That's going to make the voting, the election process much easier for me, I imagine. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to retrofit this guy's ship. and have him create a fleet already. So, create fleet on Nair, nice and easy. And I'm going to inspect him as well, or rather his ship, and make it a much better ship than what it is right now. Because right now it's kind of crappy, you have to admit, but I can make it way less so. So, what I'm going to give him, and oh, that is a pretty important thing to talk about. So, remember how in the past, many times I would complain about how beam weapons are useless? Right now, that is certainly not the case, because now they can actually fire while in the medium range, which changes things considerably. They still deal a ridiculous amount of damage, but they can actually now fire before you get into short range, which actually makes them usable. Which is ridiculous, I know, it's actually really fun. But before I do anything, I want to check what kind of fleet is the enemy using. Imposters and tools, they are using missiles, mostly missiles, so I imagine I'll try to get into close range with the enemy. Should I just go for beams? That sounds like a fun idea. It really does, but I think I'll stand beams on my main ships. And the hero, our ship, will be the kind of guy to finish off the retreating enemies that are out of my range, maybe. So I'll give him the lasers instead of beams, and install beams on my other ships, I think. So I'll do it like so. And then I'll give him some decent plating, some amazing shielding, which is actually not really that important because the enemy is using missiles. So you know what? No shielding for you. And then I'm going to make it so that this ship is more likely to be targeted. So increases chance to be targeted. Very nice. And then I'll make him repair. Because keep in mind, even if you lose your hero ship, you can always get him back. He always revives as long as your fleet survives. So that's why I like to make him the main target for the enemy. And I think I'll give him yet another repair bots thingy. Or I can give him 10% ship evasion. 10% ship evasion would be more useful during the fight itself, I think. So I'll go ahead and do that. Yeah. So there is that. And I still have enough dust for the election action. Primary election. Wait, what? It says I can't. But... oh wait. Oh yeah, I can't. Wow, this lying user interface was about to make me really angry, but that's fine. I can just sell off the extra stuff, and now I should be able to afford efficient primary elections, nice and easy. Let's move all my ships around, because I needed to. And, I mean, I might as well merge those ships, I suppose. The Prowler, I mean, I'm probably not gonna keep the guy anyway, but he is a throwaway ship that I might as well keep for the time being. And let's see, anything else I need to do. No research queued up, which means that we already have all the things I needed to actually make a decent fleet. So let's start working on that thing. Don't want to grab personal singularities ASAP. I don't. There's already stuff I'm making on my home system, so that's not a priority for me right now. Instead, I'm going to go for extreme atmospherics, I think, because gas giant colonization is not that important, but grabbing antimatter is relatively important, so let's go ahead and start working on that thing, I think. But alternatively, now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for hardened alloys, because this also gives me even more experience on ships, on newly constructed ships, which is kind of important. So yeah, there's that, what I'm going to do with that. I'm really sorry, I'll grab the missiles and the fighters and bombers at a later date. Right now there's just... I really should not grab them. It's just such a wrong move, so I simply won't. Anyway, you got the system nice and easy. And in fact, I have a religious party in the lead, so I could start annoying the Horatio over there, but I won't. And you're still not at 100, but next turn you will be, so that's nice. Everything is ready for the election, I believe, so without further ado, let's end the turn. Oh, never mind, Altair. I forgot I have Altair, I'll be entirely honest with you. So what do I do with you? I move this population, that's first and foremost. And then I'm going to... oh, you're happy. I can make you generate more influence, which will make this system more resistant against the enemy influence, which is kind of important. And then work on my own population. Yep, like so, and that should be pretty good. And let's go ahead and end the turn. And the election time. Now, religious are firmly behind, but I'm obviously going to cheat and give them the upper hand. Hopefully it will be enough to get them into government. I'll be really sad and annoyed if it is not enough. I hope it will be. Unfortunately, I have quite a few of the Horatio and Epistus across my systems, so they'll make it difficult because they'll vote for ecologists most likely. Let's just cross our fingers and pray, because I'm so close to getting Saints and Sinners Bill. I really want to have it. So, let's see how we do. Come on, religious. Religious party, please. Religious. Come on, I helped you so much. Religious party, come on! Religious party. No! I'm pissed this! Oh wow. You know what's annoying? The system that voted for the wrong thing in the end is the system that has neither episodes nor Horatio. It only has Riftborn in it. How did it vote for that? Ah, that's so annoying. It's so very annoying because, yeah, oh come on. GTA for ecologists, you're the worst thing I could have. Oh well, next time I'll save up enough money for strong arm lobbying. I tried to be cheap, and it didn't work out. Well, I learned my lesson, I suppose. I just have fleet fortitude, but I really don't care about that in the slightest. So yeah, there's that thing. That's really annoying. Oh well, I can survive extra 10 turns without Saints and Sinners Bill. The important thing is that next election I can definitely grab it. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Anyway, alright, even in Generation Gamma, and my hero leveled up, I'm going to give him even more efficiency aficionado. And actually this video is long enough, so instead of going through the stand and dealing with the stand and seeing what's going to change in the oh wow, that's a decent fleet. Again, a lot of missile weapons. Actually a lot of kinetics as well. Now, oh well, I'm still going to go for beams most likely. Anyway, I'll retrofit my ships next time, so thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. It was PANCZASU, also known as the Mighty Mix Bomber, and I'll see you online.